observation on the tattoo. That's amazing.
Mountains are not just majestic natural wonders. They are treasure troves of mysteries waiting to be uncovered. Time and again, daring climbers on their quests have encountered sights that defy explanation. These revelations have transformed brave explorers, leaving them awestruck and often reshaping their very understanding of history and nature. Join us as we dive into the top 20 discoveries on the mountain that have left mountaineers speechless. Number 20. Fire mummies. In the early 20th century, climbers made a startling discovery on Mount Kabayan in the Philippines. They found a site known as the Cave of the Fire Mummies, an ancient and sacred burial ground for the Ibaloi tribe. Inside, they were met with the eerie sight of numerous mummified human remains. The Ibaloi tribe had a unique and meticulous method for preserving their dead. When a person was nearing death, they were given a salty drink that started to dehydrate them from the inside out. This process dried them almost completely before they passed away. After death, the body was placed near a fire to remove any remaining moisture. To further preserve the body, tobacco smoke was blown into the mouth to dry out the internal organs. Once the body was thoroughly dried, it was placed in a pine wood coffin and stored in the cave. The Cave of the Fire Mummies had been preserved for centuries, keeping its secrets safe. However, the recent discovery brought unwanted attention. Unfortunately, some of the ancestral mummies were stolen by thieves, disturbing the sanctity of this ancient site. Number 19. The Mysteries of Mount Unterberg. Mount Unterberg in Austria is a place wrapped in legend and mystery, captivating everyone from historical figures like Adolf Hitler to spiritual leaders like the Dalai Lama. Hitler once believed that this mountain could unlock supernatural powers, and during his 1992 visit, the Dalai Lama called it the heart chakra of the world. Yet, despite its allure, the reasons behind its mystical reputation remain a puzzle. The mountain is rumored to be home to ghostly figures and strange creatures that roam its slopes. Tales suggest the existence of lost civilizations and even a community of dwarfs, similar to those in stories like Lord of the Rings. Its mysterious nature is often compared to the Bermuda Triangle because of the numerous reports of disappearances and unexplainable events connected to it. In German mythology and folklore, Mount Unterberg is a frequent subject, intertwined with themes of magic and mythical beings. One notable story from 1738 tells of a hunter named Michael Halsauger, who disappeared without a trace only to reappear a year later with no memory of where he had been. Such stories fuel rumors that the mountain might have the ability to bend time and space. In 1987, a chilling incident involved 3 adventurers who entered the depths of Mount Unterberg and vanished. Their abandoned car was later found nearby, but it wasn't until 3 months later that they were discovered aboard a ship in the Red Sea near Alexandria, Egypt. Disoriented, they had no recollection of their journey from Austria. Mount Unterberg continues to intrigue and mystify, drawing seekers of truth and thrill seekers alike, eager to uncover its secrets. Despite numerous tales and investigations, the mountain keeps its mysteries closely guarded, leaving us to speculate about the true extent of its supernatural qualities. Number 18. The Lost Battlefield. In the remote Owen Stanley Mountains of Papua New Guinea, a surprising discovery was made. Hidden near Isarava Creek, an explorer found a long-lost World War II battlefield. This area was the site of intense fighting between the Australian and Japanese armies, a place where many lives were lost. After the war, the Orokaiva tribe, who believed in the presence of spirits, left the site untouched due to their superstitions. It wasn't until 2010 that outsiders stumbled upon this forgotten battlefield. Former Army Captain Brian Freeman, with the help of local guides, led an expedition to explore the site. What they found was astonishing. Scattered across the battlefield were numerous World War II artifacts, along with the remains of fallen soldiers. Among the discoveries, one of the most remarkable was the body of a Japanese soldier, almost perfectly preserved beneath a tree. Using battle maps and diaries, Freeman also uncovered the story of a secret medical facility used by the Japanese during the war. This discovery added a new layer of history to the site, revealing its significance in ways previously unknown. Number 17. Frozen Incan mummies. High in the Andes, an extraordinary discovery was made that left mountaineers and archaeologists alike stunned. It was the mid-1990s when Johann Reinhard, an American archaeologist, and his team uncovered the frozen remains of 3 Inca children on Mount Lulailico at an altitude of over 22,000 feet. These children, a boy and 2 girls, had been sacrificed in a ritual known as capacocha over 500 years ago. Their perfectly preserved bodies offer an incredible glimpse into the past. The most famous of the 3, known as La Doncella, or the Maiden, was around 15 years old when she was sacrificed. Her body, along with those of the other 2 children, was found in a small burial chamber, surrounded by finely crafted artifacts, including gold and silver statues. These items, along with the children's elaborate clothing, indicated their noble status. The other 2 children, a boy around 7 years old and a 6-year-old girl who became known as Lightning Girl due to burn marks on her body caused by a lightning strike, were also sacrificed. The lightning strike happened after her death, yet her internal organs, including her heart and brain, remained remarkably intact. Scientific analyses revealed that the children had been given coca leaves and chicha, a fermented maize drink, to sedate them before the sacrifice. Their hair and stomach contents provided insights into their diet, showing that they were well nourished in the months leading up to their deaths. These mummies are among the best preserved in the world, thanks to the freezing temperatures at such high altitudes, which halted the decomposition process. Number 16. Kilaya Rock Tomb. High in the rugged cliffs of Turkey's Çorum province lies the Kilaya Rock Tomb, an ancient marvel carved into the very rock face itself. Dating back to the 2nd century BCE during the Hellenistic period, this tomb stands as a silent guardian of secrets long forgotten. The tomb is not just any ordinary resting place. It is marked by a massive door-like facade that immediately captures attention. But this door never opened. It was carved directly into the rock, symbolizing a threshold between the living and the dead. Above this imposing door is a small entrance, just large enough for a person to crawl through, leading to a burial chamber inside. What makes this tomb even more intriguing is the inscription above the entrance. The text reads, Ikizios, a name that hints at the identity of the person buried within. Although the meaning of the name remains a mystery, it is believed that the tomb was meant for a person of high status, possibly a noble or military leader. The Kilaya Rock Tomb remained relatively unknown until modern explorers began to uncover its secrets. Its location, carved into a steep and inaccessible part of the mountain, likely protected it from grave robbers and the ravages of time. Number 15. The Creator's Map. A fragment of a 3-dimensional map with mysterious origins was recently discovered. Mountaineers were shocked when they found this high in the mountains. This map, believed to be a detailed representation of the Ufa Islands, is made from dolomite and layered with diopside glass. It was first discovered in 1999 by an archaeologist named Alexander Chuvirov, and since then, it has fascinated experts and the public alike. What makes this map truly unique is its age. Scientists suggest that it could be tens of millions of years old, predating human existence. The advanced technology used to create it has led some to speculate that it might have extraterrestrial origins. However, skeptics argue that the age of the map only reflects the age of the dolomite material, not the map itself. They believe the idea of advanced technology was promoted to attract attention. Despite the debates and theories, the true origins of this ancient map remain a mystery. Number 14. Siberian Ice Princess. In 1993, high in the remote Altai Mountains of Siberia, Russian archaeologist Natalia Polosmak made a remarkable discovery. She unearthed a tomb encased in permafrost on the Ukok Plateau, revealing the mummified remains of a woman who lived over 2,500 years ago. This woman, now known as the Siberian Ice Maiden or the Princess of Ukok, was a member of the Pazyryk culture, a group of nomadic Scythian tribes. The Ice Maiden's body was astonishingly well preserved, with intricate tattoos still visible on her pale skin. These tattoos depicted mythical creatures, such as a deer with a griffin's beak and antlers, etched into her flesh using indigo ink. She was buried alongside 6 horses, all adorned with saddles and bridles, indicating her high status within the Pazyryk society. However, despite often being called a princess, recent studies suggest she was more likely a shaman, a figure of spiritual significance rather than nobility. Her cause of death remained a mystery for years, but recent MRI scans have revealed that she likely died from breast cancer, making this one of the earliest known cases of the disease. The tomb also contained various artifacts, including Chinese silk, felt, and wooden ornaments, highlighting the wide-reaching trade connections of her people. The discovery of the Ice Maiden has sparked controversy among the local Altai people, who view her as a cultural ancestor. After being studied and displayed in museums for nearly 2 decades, her remains were eventually returned to the Altai region, where they are now kept in a special mausoleum. Number 13. Uncontacted tribes. High in the Amazon mountains, hidden tribes live much like their ancestors did thousands of years ago, completely isolated from the rest of the world. These tribes, such as those in Brazil's Javari Valley, have never made contact with modern society, relying on their surroundings for sustenance and medicine. Brazil's National Indian Foundation, known as FUNAI, captured rare drone footage in 2017 of one such tribe. The video shows tribal members walking through a clearing, seemingly unaware of the drone above. This footage highlights their deep connection to the Amazon, living in harmony with nature, untouched by the globalized world. The Javari Valley is a refuge for the highest concentration of uncontacted tribes in the world, hosting diverse groups that choose isolation to protect their way of life. Historically, outside contact has brought violence and disease, which can devastate these tribes due to their lack of immunity. Number 12. Frozen World War I. Soldiers. High in the Italian Alps, the bodies of soldiers from World War I are still being discovered, perfectly preserved in ice for over a century. These soldiers fought in what is known as the White War, a brutal series of battles between Italian and Austro-Hungarian forces from 1915 to 1918. The conditions were extreme. Temperatures dropped as low as -40 degrees Fahrenheit, and soldiers faced not only each other, but also the deadly environment, including avalanches triggered by artillery fire. In recent years, as glaciers melt due to climate change, these soldiers' bodies have begun to emerge from their icy graves. In 2017, archaeologists gained access to a cave on Mount Scorluso that had been sealed off by a glacier for decades. Inside, they found a haunting snapshot of the past, the bodies of soldiers still in their uniforms, surrounded by their personal belongings like letters, lanterns, and munitions. Number 11. Pomsky Crater. Deep in the remote forests of Siberia lies a mysterious formation, that has baffled scientists and intrigued adventurers for decades. The Pomsky Crater. Discovered in 1949 by geologist Vadim Kolpakov, this strange, almost otherworldly structure is composed mainly of shattered limestone blocks and has a unique appearance that includes a central mound surrounded by a circular depression. The crater is about 160 meters wide and 40 meters high, with an estimated weight of over 1 million tons. But what makes this crater even more fascinating is its relatively young age. Scientific analysis suggests it's only about 300 to 350 years old. Numerous theories have been proposed regarding the crater's origin, ranging from volcanic activity to a meteorite impact. However, despite extensive investigations, including a thorough scientific expedition in 2005, no definitive evidence supports these theories. The volcanic hypothesis suggests that the crater might have formed from a rare type of volcanic eruption, but there is no volcanic rock in the area. Similarly, the meteorite theory has been largely dismissed due to the absence of typical meteorite debris. More recent studies lean towards the idea that the Pomsky Crater could be the result of a massive underground gas explosion, possibly involving the release of hydrogen gas. This could explain the unusual tree ring patterns observed in the area, which indicate abnormal growth that may have been caused by sudden heat. There are also suggestions that the crater may be the result of a natural but extremely rare geological process, still not fully understood by science. The local Yakut people, who have lived near the crater for centuries, refer to it as the Fire Eagle's Nest and believe it to be a place of bad energy. Their legends speak of the area as being cursed, which only adds to the enigma surrounding this fascinating site. Even today, the true origins of the Pomsky Crater remain one of the great unsolved mysteries of our time. Number 10. Ancient Mountain Dwellers. The Wind River mountain range in Wyoming rises over 11,500 feet high. This area is not only a favorite spot for modern climbers, skiers, and campers, but was also once home to ancient Native Americans. In 2006, archaeologist Dr. Richard Adams discovered an ancient settlement called High-Rise Village, at about 11,000 feet in the northern part of these mountains. This find was surprising because it was previously thought that Native Americans avoided these high, harsh environments. However, High-Rise Village was a large community with at least 75 houses. It showed that these ancient people lived and thrived here, as far back as when woolly mammoths still roamed the earth. Thousands of stone artifacts have been found scattered across steep slopes in this area. These findings prove that the area was a bustling, active community. The settlement lasted until the 1700s, and over 100 smaller archaeological sites have been found within a 3-mile radius of High-Rise Village. This discovery has changed our understanding of how ancient Native Americans used the mountainous landscapes of North America. Number 9. George Mallory's body. On May 1, 1999, an American climber named Conrad Anker made a discovery on the northern slopes of Mount Everest that sent shockwaves through the mountaineering community. At around 27,000 feet, Anker and his team stumbled upon the remarkably preserved body of George Mallory, the legendary British climber who disappeared in 1924 while attempting to become the first person to reach the summit of Everest. Mallory's body was found lying face down, with his arms outstretched, as if he had tried to break his fall. His remains were so well preserved by the icy conditions that his clothing was still intact, and a label on his shirt confirmed his identity. However, his body told a grim story. Mallory had suffered a broken leg and a severe head injury, likely from a fall during his descent. A rope around his waist suggested that he had been tied to his climbing partner, Andrew Irvine, at the time of the accident, but Irvine's body was never found. Among the items discovered on Mallory were snow goggles in his pocket, indicating that he might have been descending in poor visibility. However, crucial items were missing, including the camera he reportedly carried, which could have provided evidence of whether he and Irvine reached the summit. Mallory's body was left on the mountain, covered with stones by the expedition team. Number 8. Frozen sandals. In 2019, a hiker exploring the remote horse ice patch in Norway's Jotunheim Mountains made a surprising discovery: a 1,700-year-old Roman-style sandal preserved in the ice. This find was more than just an old shoe. It was a window into the past, revealing how ancient travelers navigated the harsh and icy terrains of northern Europe. The sandal, made from rawhide and designed in the Roman Carbatina style, was found at an altitude of over 6,000 feet. Despite its open design, which seemed impractical for snowy mountains, it's believed the wearer would have used wool or animal hide wrappings to keep their feet warm. This discovery, along with other artifacts found nearby like arrow shafts and textiles, suggests that this mountain pass was once a bustling route used for trade and travel. The archaeologists from the Secrets of the Ice team acted quickly to recover the sandal before a snowstorm could bury it again for years. Radiocarbon dating placed the sandal's origin around 300 CE, making it one of the oldest shoes found in the region. Number 7. The Lost City of Vilcabamba. In the dense forests of the Andes, a hidden Incan refuge called Vilcabamba stood as the final stronghold against the Spanish conquerors. After the fall of Cusco in the 16th century, Manco Inca, the leader of the Incan resistance, retreated with his followers to this remote location. Vilcabamba became the center of Incan resistance from 1536 until its fall in 1572, marking the end of the Inca Empire. The city was strategically hidden in the rugged terrain, surrounded by thick jungle, which made it nearly impossible for the Spanish to find for years. This isolation allowed the Incas to mount a prolonged guerrilla campaign against the Spanish forces. The site, now known as Espiritu Pampa, was covered by dense vegetation when it was rediscovered by modern explorers in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. However, it wasn't until later expeditions, including those by American explorer Jean Savoy in the 1960s, that the site was definitively identified as the legendary Vilcabamba. The ruins of Vilcabamba include remnants of Incan stonework, terraces, and Spanish-style tiles, suggesting a blending of cultures during the final days of the Inca resistance. Number 6. Secret caves of the Himalayas. Deep within the rugged terrain of the Himalayas, mountaineers have uncovered hidden caves that hold ancient secrets of the Buddhist world. These caves, nestled in the remote Mustang region of Nepal and along the Tibetan Plateau, contain relics that have astonished explorers. Over 10,000 man-made caves carved into the steep cliffs have been discovered, with some containing valuable Buddhist manuscripts, intricate paintings, and ancient artifacts. In the mid-1990s, archaeologists from Nepal and Germany began exploring these mysterious caves. Among their finds were manuscripts dating back to the 12th century, as well as mummified remains over 2,000 years old. The caves served various purposes over the centuries, evolving from burial sites to meditation chambers and even living quarters during times of conflict. One of the most significant discoveries includes the ancient Buddhist manuscripts that shed light on the religious and cultural history of the region. These texts, along with the relics found in the caves, reveal a complex history of spiritual practice and daily life in these remote areas. The Mustang Caves, sometimes referred to as the Sky Caves, continue to be a site of fascination, with ongoing research aiming to uncover more about the people who created and used these spaces. Before we move on, here's today's subscriber's pick. Mountaineers were shocked when they found this high in the mountains. Imagine scaling a remote mountain only to stumble upon a sight that sends chills down your spine. dozens of life-sized figures frozen in time. But here's the twist. These aren't the remains of fallen climbers. Instead, they are an eerie collection of statues, posed as if in the middle of some forgotten ritual. What's particularly shocking is that in real life, the mountains have indeed yielded many frozen bodies, preserved for decades or even centuries by the cold. For instance, on Mount Everest, over 200 bodies remain on the slopes, too dangerous to recover, silently reminding climbers of the perils of the journey. In the Italian Alps, World War I soldiers have been found perfectly preserved in ice, their uniforms and weapons still intact, offering a haunting glimpse into history. The cold has a way of freezing time, keeping these moments, whether tragic or mysterious, as vivid as the day they occurred. Now, back to this image. Is it an art installation meant to shock and provoke, or does it hold some deeper meaning? What do you think these statues represent? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Number 5. The mountain crater in China. Nestled atop Baijifeng Mountain in northeastern China, researchers have uncovered something extraordinary: a mountaintop impact crater, the first of its kind ever discovered on Earth. This crater, nearly 1 mile wide, lies in the Baijifeng National Forest Park in Jilin Province. The mountain, now split into 2 distinct peaks, bears the scars of a massive collision with a meteorite, an event that reshaped its summit and left behind a circular depression. Scientists from the Center for High-Pressure Science and Technology Advanced Research in Beijing, led by Chen Ming, made this discovery. They found that the rock samples from the site contained shock deformation patterns, a clear sign that the crater was formed by a high-energy impact. The crater's diameter spans over 1,400 meters, with a height difference of approximately 400 meters between the highest and lowest points of its rim. The meteorite impact is believed to have occurred sometime after the Jurassic period, as the granite and sandstone fragments around the crater date back to between 150 and 172 million years ago. However, the exact timing of the impact remains a mystery. Local people have long referred to the scattered rocks as celestial stone, unknowingly acknowledging their extraterrestrial origins. Number 4. Cave paintings. Deep in the Drakensberg Mountains of South Africa, ancient cave paintings tell the stories of the Sand people, who lived there thousands of years ago. These aren't just simple drawings. They are a rich tapestry of spiritual life and rituals. The San, who were skilled hunter-gatherers, created these paintings on rock walls, showing scenes of hunting, dancing, and their deeply spiritual beliefs. One of the most important animals in their art is the eland, which they believed had powerful spiritual significance. Shamans, or spiritual healers, would enter trance states during rituals, and these states are vividly captured in the art. You can see figures bent over or with bleeding noses, which symbolize their spiritual journey into another world. There are more than 30,000 of these paintings across the Drakensberg, making it one of the richest collections of rock art in Africa. Today, these invaluable artworks are protected within the Melody Drakensberg Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Number 3. Giant ancient statues. High atop Mount Nemrut in southeastern Turkey, a mysterious sight captivates all who visit. This mountain, standing over 7,000 feet tall, holds the remnants of a grand project commissioned by King Antiochus I of Commagene in the 1st century. BC King Antiochus, ruling from 70 BC to 38 BC, sought to immortalize himself by constructing a monumental tomb and sanctuary at the peak of this mountain. At the heart of this site lies a large, man-made mound of loose stone, standing 50 meters high with a diameter of 145 meters. Surrounding this mound on 3 terraces are colossal statues, each towering between 8 and 9 meters, These statues depict a blend of Greek and Persian deities, symbolizing the king's claim to divine ancestry from both Alexander the Great and Darius the Great. Among the gods are Zeus Oromasdes, Apollo Mithra, Helios Hermes, and Heracles Artanies Ares, as well as two massive lions and eagles. These statues originally had heads attached, but over time, the heads have fallen and now sit eerily on the ground. King Antiochus I believed that he had a special connection with the gods and even established a royal cult where he would be worshipped as a god after his death. Every year, elaborate ceremonies were held at the site, celebrating his life and reign. The site was lost to history for centuries until it was rediscovered in 1881 by a German engineer. Despite extensive excavations, the exact location of Antiochus's tomb remains a mystery. Number 2. The Mystery of the Anasazi. In the cliffs of the American Southwest, the Anasazi people, also known as the ancestral Puebloans, built incredible dwellings that have fascinated explorers for generations. These structures, carved directly into the rock faces of canyons, are found in areas like Mesa Verde and Chaco Canyon. The Anasazi civilization thrived for centuries, from around 100 AD until their mysterious disappearance around 1300 AD. The Anasazi were skilled architects, constructing multi-story buildings and complex irrigation systems. Their cliff dwellings, some of which contained up to 1,000 rooms, were built for both protection and community living. These structures were remarkable not only for their size, but also for their location, perched high on canyon walls. The sudden abandonment of these cliff dwellings remains one of history's great mysteries. Archaeologists have proposed several theories, including severe drought, resource depletion, and social unrest. Some evidence suggests that the Anasazi may have faced increased conflict and violence during their final years, possibly leading to their migration away from their ancestral lands. Other theories suggest they were drawn to new religious movements, like the Kachina cult, which offered hope in a time of crisis. Despite extensive research, the full story of why the Anasazi left their homes remains elusive. Their descendants, the Hopi, Zuni, and other Pueblo peoples, continue to preserve the cultural heritage of these ancient builders. Number 1. Ancient ruins in Machu Picchu. In the summer of 1911, Hiram Bingham, an American historian and explorer, embarked on a journey that would change our understanding of ancient civilizations. Bingham, who had a deep interest in Latin American history, led an expedition into the rugged Andes Mountains of Peru. His goal was to find the lost city of the Incas, and on July 24th, his search culminated in a remarkable discovery. Bingham, along with a small team, reached the Urubamba Valley near Cusco. Guided by a local farmer named Melchor Arteaga and an 11-year-old boy, he climbed up a steep and rain-soaked mountain. There, through the dense vegetation, Bingham encountered the stone terraces and structures of Machu Picchu, a site that had been hidden from the world for centuries. This sprawling city, with its intricately constructed walls and breathtaking mountain vistas, was believed to have been a royal estate for the Inca Emperor Pachacuti, dating back to the 15th century. The ruins covered about 5 miles, with over 3,000 steps connecting various levels. The site was so well preserved that the white granite walls looked almost new, despite being abandoned after the Spanish conquest in the 16th century. Bingham was captivated by the sheer scale and beauty of the place, mistakenly believing it to be the last refuge of the Incas, a place called Vilcabamba. Though this theory was later disproved, Bingham's discovery of Machu Picchu brought the Incan civilization into the global spotlight. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.